Numbers in detail. A single-day record number of coronavirus cases, 50,000 new cases across the country. Dr. Anthony Fauci says we could eventually see 100,000 new cases every day if things don't change soon. We have 212 more cases in the Coachella Valley. The county has 463 deaths, and the valley death toll is now at 123. Experts are tracing the current surge of infections to the reopenings around Memorial Day. And as our Daytona Everett reports now, health officials don't want a repeat of that on July 4th.
Fireworks, barbecues, and pool parties. That's what the 4th of July is all about, right? Not this year. Here at Target, some people are just trying to get out of the house, others trying to get ready for the 4th of July. But with new orders from Governor Newsom, their plans might change.
Spending by the pool, relaxing.
Put up the water slide, not really any big plan.
Okay, so most people were planning on staying at home anyway, but for anyone trying to head to indoor restaurants, wineries, movie theaters, zoos, museums, card rooms, or bars this weekend, you're out of luck.
We have specifically targeted our efforts to close indoor operations.
Riverside County is included in a list of counties that must close all of these activities effective immediately.
We just got to play it all by ear.
And for folks like Albert and Elizabeth who want to beat the heat, their plans to head to Newport for the boat parade might change too. Newsom is recommending the counties with mandatory closures, including Orange County and Riverside County, to consider canceling their fireworks shows. But beaches remain open.
The state of California is not mandating the closure of beaches this weekend, but we are modifying our parking facility operations and closing them.
So what can you do? Governor Newsom says you can wear a mask and physically distance, so the state of California can be independent from COVID-19 on Independence Day. Daytona Everett, NBC.
Now, the back and forth of reopenings and closures have created a lot of confusion and frustration. Our Nico Payne talked to restaurant owners about the challenges of running their businesses.
At Trio Restaurant in downtown Palm Springs, owner Tony Marchese has spent the last month working to get his restaurant up and running and make sure that it meets guidelines for indoor dining. Today was supposed to be the reopening, but then Governor Newsom ordered indoor dining in Riverside County to end immediately.
It could be devastating. I mean, to big or small restaurants, they all suffer the same way, so the bigger the restaurant, the bigger suffering they have. So it's not going to be a great thing.
After installing plexiglass partitions and spacing dining tables, Marchese, along with other restaurants, will now have to rely solely on outdoor dining and takeout.
We need the dine-in business to really, to make a profit. With our large size, just doing takeout only isn't really cost effective for us. We're going to be open for business with our large patio. And
it's not just restaurant owners that are confused by the constant changes.
I'm kind of mixed up a little bit about it, because one minute it's open, the next minute it's not. It really makes the people feel that they don't really know what to do. Confuses them.
I think that a lot of it is just being well read and know what's going on in the community and what those guidelines are. And then explaining to the customers, that we're doing the best to work with what we have been given, the guidelines that we've been given.
Although some business owners agree with the governor's leadership, they say some decisions they don't understand.
I think when certain counties like ours gave up the masks months ago or 6 weeks ago, probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe just kept that rule in place, even though they're opening up businesses. The business have to run, but we just have to have different rules and protect each other.
For NBC Palm Springs, Nico Payne.
Now let's head outside. This is a live look from our Agua Caliente Casino Cam in Palm Springs. Let's check in with Jerry. And Jerry, for the 4th of July, the temperature is gonna, What's it going to get to?
Put the fire in fireworks. Yeah, the temperatures are going to go up for the holidays. Yeah, you heard right. 86 degrees right now. Winds are calm at the moment, and 64% relative humidity will dry out a little later on today. 70 degrees at Big Bear. They began in the upper 30s earlier today. Nice recovery there. 92 at 29 Palms. Desert Hot Springs 88 and Sunshine 92,000 Palms. 91 at Coachella. 86 Palm Desert. 92 Rancho Mirage, clear skies and satellite radar. Yeah, nothing going on there. We do have temps that'll be similar to yesterday, so just above 100 degrees for many of us this afternoon, maybe getting close to 106, but not too bad for early July with those numbers. Pretty typical for this time of year. We'll begin with winds that'll be very light out of the south, and then later this afternoon into the evening hours, they'll become onshore and a bit breezy. Dew points will be in the 40s and temps, soon, triple digits, but just above that mark. And we'll see the numbers move up beginning tomorrow in our Comfort Air 3-day forecast. So 106 for tomorrow, the 4th of July, 110, and even hotter on the 5th and 6th of July. All the numbers coming away in just a bit.
All right, Jerry, thank you. More promising news on what is being called a revolutionary new weapon in the fight against COVID-19. The drug maker, Pfizer, has taken a cutting-edge approach to stopping the pandemic and is now seeing more positive results. NBC's Miguel Almaguer reports from L.A.
This morning, new evidence we may be one step closer to an effective coronavirus vaccine. On Wednesday, Pfizer and its German biotech partner BioNTech releasing new clinical data on their experimental vaccine showing it spurred immune responses in healthy patients. 45 healthy people between the ages of 18 and 55 took part in the trial. 24 were given 2 doses of the vaccine and all developed higher levels of antibodies than typically seen in recovered patients. NYU Chief of Infectious Disease, Dr. Mark Mulligan, is leading the trial.
What we found was it produced an antibody response, including neutralizing antibodies, in 100% of people that received the vaccine. This is a promising, encouraging first step, but it's not a slam dunk.
More than half of patients who received a dose reported side effects, including fever and sleep disturbances deemed non-serious by Pfizer. Yoga instructor Melissa Honkanen was one of the first healthy volunteers to get the injection.
After the second dose, I felt a little bit achy and my temperature was elevated. So I took a Tylenol and I felt better.
Pfizer's vaccine is one of 17 currently in clinical trials around the world. It works by altering the virus's genetic code, instructing the body to make antibodies without exposing people to the virus itself. Still to be determined whether higher antibody levels lead to immunity to the virus.
Unfortunately, that just takes time. You have to watch for a period of time before you can tell. So it's too early to say yet.
2 more larger trials are needed before possible approval. Researchers say further testing is also planned on a more diverse group of volunteers, including the elderly, people of color, and pregnant women.
We need to do full-scale phase 3 clinical trials in order to get a full sense of the safety of these vaccines, as well as their ability to actually protect against infection.
Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And up next, 2 of the 3 suspects charged in the murder of a local couple are expected to be in court today. We'll have the details after the break. Stay with us, please. Two of the three suspects charged in the murder of a Coachella Valley couple are scheduled to be arraigned today. Abraham Fragoso is charged with 1 count of murder, while Manuel Rizos is charged with 2 counts of murder. Both are also facing a special circumstance allegation of killing a witness of a crime. This makes them eligible to receive the death penalty if convicted. The last suspect, Jesus Ruiz, pleaded not guilty yesterday to 2 felony counts of being an accessory to murder after the fact. A shooting investigation in Palm Springs is now considered a homicide. The victim, who was shot late Monday night near Tramview Road, later died. Police are asking the public for any information they might have on this shooting. 3 families are without a place to stay after a fire destroyed their mobile homes in Mecca over the weekend. We spoke to the families after the devastating fire.
I'm in shock because everything got destroyed here, even my savings, because I had barely went to the bank get the money out to pay my payments.
No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. A longtime friend of accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was arrested this morning. FBI agents arrested British socialite and heiress Ghislaine Maxwell in New Hampshire. She's facing federal charges of conspiracy to entice minors to travel and engage in illegal sex acts. Court documents state she helped recruit, groom, and abuse young girls. Officials are set to give an update on the investigation into missing soldier Vanessa Guillen. Guillen was last seen at Fort Hood in April. On Wednesday, the Army Criminal Investigation Division confirmed they found human remains in an area where they had been looking for her. Now, no confirmation yet if the remains belong to Guillen. The family and their attorney calling for a congressional investigation.
They lie to us every single time. My sister's no joke. My sister's a human being. And I want justice. And I want answers. Because my sister did not do this to herself. Someone did it.
The Fort Hood senior commander will hold a press conference this afternoon. President Trump is denouncing the Russian bounty scandal as a hoax, even though his administration is preparing to brief congressional leadership on it later today. Meanwhile, Trump has shifted tone in support of wearing masks. Alice Barr reports from D.C.
President Trump dismissing allegations that Russia paid the Taliban to target U.S. troops in Afghanistan in his first interview since the explosive story broke, insisting he was not initially briefed because the intelligence is in dispute.
The intelligence people many of them didn't believe it happened at all. I think it's a hoax.
The president's national security advisor saying a top CIA official decided not to inform him.
If it could be corroborated, then we'd have options to go to the president with.
Despite downplaying the threat, the Trump administration now set to brief congressional leadership later today.
I want to see this president, this White House say that they will get to the bottom of this.
He calls it a hoax. Same thing he called COVID-19 a hoax. He said it will disappear.
President Trump now repeating that claim.
I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear.
That's despite record high cases in 14 states this week, forcing beaches and bars to close heading into the holiday weekend. The president did signal a rare message in support of masks.
I'm all for masks. I think masks are good. I would wear, if I were in a group of people and I was close.
You would wear one?
Oh, I would. Oh, I have. I mean, people have seen me wearing one.
President Trump still resisting making masks mandatory, despite his own health officials' pleas to wear them to slow the spread. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This next story is from the Bizarre File. Students in Alabama are holding COVID-19 parties to see who can catch the virus first. The students are purposely inviting guests who have tested positive for COVID-19 with the goal of infecting each other for money. Officials say teens put money into a pot, and the first one to contract the virus gets the money. A member of the Tuscaloosa City Council calls the game senseless and careless.
Careless
And it makes me mad as hell that, we're constantly trying to do everything we can to slow the spread while they're just having a damn party trying to spread it.
Wednesday, Alabama reported more than 38,000 new COVID-19 cases and 947 deaths, according to the State Department of Public Health. A three-story apartment building collapsed suddenly in Brooklyn, New York yesterday. Firefighters say there was one person on the second floor when the structure gave way. That person managed to get out safely. Several structural problems have been reported in the past. There were nearly a dozen open violations dating back as far as 2006 for the building, including at least 2 regarding cracks in the exterior. Coming up, meet a La Quinta High School class of 2020 student who, against all odds, now has a full scholarship to Stanford. And here's a beautiful shot of our downtown area from Palm Springs Cam from Agua Caliente. All right, Jerry's got your AccuWeather forecast. That's next. Stay with us, please.
Always a nice view in our Agua Caliente casino cam. Lots of sunshine, blue skies above. We'll see a lot of that over the next few days. The difference will be the temps. Today, not all that bad. Yesterday, kind of what we're going to see today. 103 for high in thermal, the average 106. So average numbers today before those temperatures skyrocket. 90 right now at Palm Springs, a sunny 89 at Desert Hot Springs, 93 at Coachella, 93 also, 29 Palms, 74 at Banning. Began with some fog there. That is rolled out. 79 at Cabazon at this hour. Clear skies, really not much to point out to you on satellite or radar over Southern California. All is quiet in that department. Could see a little bit of rain around Yuma and to the east, but that's it. Nothing for us. Staying relatively dry, a lot of sunshine, and temps in that 102 to 106 range, which is pretty typical for early July. We'll have winds that are right now basically very light out of the south. That will become onshore at around 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon. And like this morning, tomorrow morning, early morning before 8 o'clock, we'll see some fog west of the mountains, actually west of the San Gorgonio Pass. Visibility may be down to about a half a mile, patchy at best all the way to the coastline. So 70s for highs along the coast today and again tomorrow. And then temperatures that'll be in the triple digits just above that century mark. 103 at Palm Springs, Thousand Palms, 104 at Indio today, 99 for high, 29 Palms, 92 at Cabazon. Add a few more degrees, we get 106s and 107s for the valley tomorrow afternoon. So we're heating up. In fact, Independence Day, Yeah, temperatures are going to be a little hotter. 110 for Palm Springs, 112 at Indio, 105 at 29 Palms. That's all because we have a ridge of high pressure that'll boost those temperatures well above average. Matter of fact, up to 113 possible on Saturday afternoon. And then on Sunday, even hotter. We could even see a few 114s around the Coachella Valley on Sunday and again on Monday afternoon. A lot of sunshine to go with those numbers too, and relatively dry. That's the good news, I guess. If you're heading to the beach to cool down for the 4th of July, actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, keep in mind rip currents will be an issue from Orange County down to San Diego County beaches, and surf could be as high as 7 feet, maybe even 8 around Orange County. Okay, skies here, nothing but sunshine as we head into the weekend. Yeah, all blue skies. And surface moisture, dew points around that 40-degree mark, but keep in mind that the middle of the day, relative humidity will be in the teens today and tomorrow. Could even see some single digits Saturday and Sunday. Tracking a tropical wave moving its way to the west-northwest. National Hurricane Center says 30% chance of that developing into a tropical depression by the weekend or early next week. I looked at the long-range computer models. It stays over the open waters of the Pacific and could fall apart by the time it makes its way just west of Cabo. Okay, as far as a 7-day forecast from Comfort Air, we're looking at temps that'll warm up from 103 today to 106 tomorrow for Palm Springs. A hot 110 on the 4th, 5th and 6th of July, up there too at 112.
What we learn in the classroom is one thing. What we do with that knowledge is something else. And sometimes we can learn more from the students than the teachers. Lisbeth Luvano is one. Lisbeth graduated from La Quinta High School with a full 4-year scholarship to Stanford University. But it's her journey through high school that really teaches us all a very valuable lesson. Lisbeth, it's so good to meet you. Congratulations. You must be so proud.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Take me back to when you were just a child and then you grew up. English was not your first language.
Spanish has always been my household's primary language. It's the only language I grew up learning. So I entered kindergarten without any ounce of knowledge of what the English language was or how to navigate it. My entire neighborhood only speaks Spanish as well. I think what's really helped me is I began to love reading when I was in elementary. And that love for reading definitely reflected in my language skills. So I became a better reader, became a better listener.
I think a lot of people would be surprised to learn that you walked to school from Indio to La Quinta High School on many days.
So every day I'd walk like 40 minutes to school and then 40 minutes back. And that meant I had to be walking and taking public transportation to my extracurriculars. Or if I needed any school supplies, that was a 2-hour trip to Walmart. So I didn't have a lot of access to those kinds of things. But I definitely think those barriers that I've had to cross in limited transportation have made me all the more resilient. And it's made my journey to Stanford all the more enriching for me.
But you didn't give up and say, well, this is just too hard to do. And on top of it, you graduated through high school with all A's.
Yes, definitely. I think specifically when we look at the context of where we live, I have always been very goal-oriented. So that's kept me going through that. And specifically when I was looking at my parents, the kind of barriers they've had to overcome to make sure I do have those opportunities present within America. It's made my journey seem a lot more less difficult in comparison to theirs.
They came from Mexico.
From Central Mexico and Aguascalientes.
Once they got here, you talk about some of the barriers. What were some of the barriers for them?
They're not able to be a support system for me in any tangible way. I would say I've always been my own self-advocate because my parents are working long hours and they're not working long hours with too much pay. So we've always been low income. It's always been a lot harder for me to give up knowing that those kind of opportunities I did have, including the IB program, no matter how rigorous it got, or my extracurriculars, no matter how hard it was to sort of even just get there in the first place, those were kind of opportunities my parents never had. And I wanted to make the most of them as I possibly could.
Well, you sure did. You got to work with Congressman Raul Ruiz.
Of all my extracurriculars, the congressman's campaign was the most difficult for me to get access to. Me riding 2 buses, it was me still like walking across the highway. But it was very amazing opportunity. I was a phone banker there, and so we were specializing in voter outreach and just getting to know the constituents across the Coachella Valley. That's definitely informed my career of wanting to be an aspiring immigration rights lawyer and practicing here within the Coachella Valley.
So we guess we know what you're going to do after Stanford.
Yes, I'll be attending law school.
I know you want to give back to the community for one thing.
I think my ultimate goal, I don't think maybe it's limited within law school. I definitely want to be incorporating a lot more diversity within sort of like, I guess, American thought. It's something I've seen within my own education. I just want to be able to incorporate a lot more voices. I at least want to help within the nonprofit sector, want to serve as an advocate, and I want to just give back that justice to a lot of people who feel that they've been wronged or that they just don't feel represented.
The admissions officer at Stanford said she is a strong young Latina woman who is going to rock this world. And I should point out that you were also accepted to 11 other schools as well. So bravo to you. Congratulations. So well deserved. And I'm sure La Quinta High School is very happy and applauds you as well.
Thank you so much for today.
Stay right there. We'll be right back.
In Your Health Today, many women who suffer symptoms of depression, it's happening when they transition into menopause. That's according to a new study of nearly 500 women conducted in Turkey. Researchers found 41% of the women experienced some form of depression during and after menopause. There was also certain factors that increased the risk. They included being widowed or divorced, alcohol consumption, chronic health issues, mental illness, and having 4 or more living children. Some troubling news right now about teen dating. A new study from Boston University reveals nearly half of teens who have been in a relationship have been stalked or harassed by their partner. 42% admit to stalking or harassing their partner by following them, damaging their belongings, or going through their online accounts. Experts say it is very concerning because these behaviors often lead to physical violence. And that's what's happening in Your Health Today.
Listen to this. A case of bad behavior at a bar in Belmont this weekend. A customer wasn't happy when a bartender asked her to wear a mask, so she coughed in his face. Cornell Barnard reports.
She was just upset that people were telling her that she had to play by new rules.
This is the unruly customer employees at St. James Gate Restaurant and Pub hope to identify. Bartender Misha Murata says a disturbing incident happened recently on the same day they got the okay to start serving indoors. Masks and social distancing required.
This lady kept on hugging people at the bar and not wearing a mask.
Misha's co-worker behind the bar asked the woman to comply.
Miss, please put your mask on.
Watch as surveillance cameras captured what happened next. The woman leans in and appears to cough directly in the face of the bartender, who steps back in shock and disbelief.
It was a very disgusting act on a couple different levels.
Misha was standing just feet away. He quickly told the woman to leave. She does, but not before a parting shot, giving bartenders the middle finger, then knocking down a bar stool before heading out the door.
Something like that is just so unacceptable.
General Manager Bobby Martinez can't believe the video.
It's not nice to do that to somebody. Like, he was just trying to enforce the guideline and she would just refuse to follow it.
Earlier this month, a woman was caught on camera accused of intentionally coughing on a child at a San Jose Yogurtland in a dispute over social distancing. Employees at St. James Gate haven't filed a police report. They say it's not their intention to have the unidentified woman arrested or cited, only to know what she did is unacceptable.
I think that if she reflects on this, then maybe she can realize that she should be better.
That was Cornell Barnard reporting. Governor Gavin Newsom mentioned zoos in his closure announcements, so we reached out to the Living Desert to see what they're doing. They tell us because they are mostly an outdoor zoo, they can stay open and still remain in compliance with the governor's orders. The Palm Springs City Council approves their budget while addressing the nearly $50 million shortfall. But in the end, it could all be adjusted as new COVID-19 shutdowns are taken into account. Our Kitty Alvarado with the story.
Every department in the city is affected by these budget cuts, and reserve money had to be used to make up some of the difference. But the reality is, if things continue the way they are, more cuts will have to be made. The Palm Springs City Council passed the 2021 budget 3-2 on Tuesday. Palm Springs Mayor Jeff Core says the effects of COVID-19 on the city's fiscal health have been severe.
This budget forecast of $47 million reduction in a $120 million budget is enormous.
To adjust, the city had to trim budgets in every department, cut staff, and used more than half of their reserves.
82 positions were cut in the city budget, which brings us down to about 420 employees, which is similar to where we were during the Great Recession.
Council members Holstage and Garner wanted to see more changes, especially with police, and voted against it. Still, public safety saw deep cuts with about 35 police and fire staff layoffs.
Over $3 million was cut from the police budget. So 19 of 104 personnel in the police budget were cut.
Palm Springs City Manager David Reddy says these latest closures ordered by the governor show the challenges in planning a budget during this pandemic.
There's so many unknown variables. It's such a big number all at once. We don't know how the outcome is going to be and in what time frame. So this obviously is much more challenging. But I just want to assure everyone at City Hall, we're focused on making sure everyone's safe.
The budget will need to be looked at and adjusted every month, but if closures continue and revenue doesn't come in as expected,
then we will have to make additional cuts as we move forward. And at this point, it would just have to be obviously in personnel, because that's where the majority of the expense is.
also over $800,000 was allocated for patrol car and officer-worn body cameras from the general fund instead of the police budget to prevent more cuts in the department. Both Coors and Reddy say safety is paramount, and it's more important than ever to follow all of the safety guidelines so the economy is able to open up. I'm Kitty Alvarado.
And this program reminder about the July 4th fireworks extravaganza right here on NBC Palm Springs and our sister station KPSE. That's live at 9 on KPSE with a replay on NBC Palm Springs at 11. And you can see that already they are getting ready for the fireworks. They are getting ready for the setup. You can see those big tubes. Those will all be filled with fireworks for the big send-off that will be happening Saturday at 9. All right, as we head to break, let's take a live look right now outside. This is our Walter Clark Highway 111 cam. Jerry is standing by for your full forecast. That's next.
And good morning. What's left of it on this Thursday? We're looking at our Walter Clark cam on 111 here, and a lot of blue skies above us. Going to be sunny the next couple of days ahead of us, too. A lot of dry air in all levels of the atmosphere. Now we have temperatures that are moving into the 90s as we speak. 90 degrees at Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs. 94 already at Thousand Palms. 96 up at 29 Palms. 81 a pleasant day at Cabazon at this hour. Clear skies, really not a whole lot going on over Southern California. Satellite imagery, radar imagery, not much to point out right now, and that's the way it's going to be for the next few days. 102 to 106, the range of highs today, similar to yesterday. So today's going to be a carbon copy of Wednesday afternoon. Winds will be out of the south, very, very light this afternoon, turning onshore and getting a little breezy at times with those winds out of the west. And we'll see that again tomorrow. But 103 today for Palm Springs, 104 at Indio, 99 at 29 Palms, 92 at Cabazon, and then we add a few more degrees. Tomorrow begins the transition day when we see these numbers move up. A lot of 106s and 107s tomorrow afternoon. High pressure then begins to build and boost those numbers well above average. So we're going to see a lot of us at 110 or better for Saturday, the 4th of July, under lots of sunshine for the Coachella Valley. And then Sunday and Monday are going to be the two hottest days in our future. 112s 113s and 114s for highs. Extreme heat moves into the valley. Heading to the beach maybe to cool down. Temps from LA to San Diego are going to be in the 70s for highs, but rip currents could be an issue, and surf could be between 3 and 7 feet in those areas. A lot of sunshine for us in the Coachella Valley in the next few days. Dew points in the 40s, relative humidity in the teens as we move into the weekend. Oh, a little heads up here. On the 4th of July, this Saturday evening, we'll see a partial lunar eclipse, which will peak at around 9:30, and we'll see kind of a reddish moon. Anyway, 103 today on a Comfort Air 7-day forecast, 106 on Friday for Palm Springs. Saturday, the 4th of July, 110. Then, yeah, scorching 112s for Sunday and Monday, and staying hot into next week. Road trip, according to AAA, taking to the road for getaways this summer will be a priority for many. Here this morning is Doug Shoup with the Auto Club. Welcome, Doug.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me today.
Well, it's good to see you. I got to ask, is this going to be a venture this summer?
Well, let's hope not. With proper planning, you can avoid that National Lampoon's Vacation where everything goes wrong. And you know what? Really planning this summer for a road trip is more important than ever before. You know, we're so lucky here in Southern California. We live within a day's drive of so many beautiful destinations. We're talking about places like Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah, Monument Valley National Park in Utah and Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, and the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks in Central California. Now, keep in mind that some of the larger parks, you know, we're talking about like Yosemite, Grand Canyon, and Yellowstone, they may be really crowded this summer. So you want to call ahead, see what kind of restrictions they may have.
So, Doug, you've got a website that people can go to and plan their own trip.
Yeah, we've got a great free website for people to use, aaa.com/road trips. And you can go in there, you could put in the name of the city where you live or where you're heading to, and you're going to get a drop-down menu of actual scenic road trip suggestions. Really cool. You can then print up your journey at home and then take it with you as you head out on that scenic road trip.
People on the way to any of these parks will, of course, be stopping at rest stops. What do we need to know about that?
Yeah, that's why it's so important to plan ahead, because you want to know what's going to be open along your journey. And so you can go to TripTik, that's TRIPTIK.AAA.com, and this will help you build that trip so you can kind of find those rest areas, those restaurants, and the hotels along the way. We also encourage people, before booking a hotel, try to find ones that have cancellation policies. It's just a lot of pre-planning ahead of time this summer is going to be crucial.
Our cars have become kind of the sanctuary now because we feel safe in those, but you want to make sure that your car's in shape before you take off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. You want to make sure that you're checking the tire tread and inflation, making sure the fluid levels are topped off, making sure that you have a fully charged battery. Some of the things that you want to take along on your road trip this summer, of course, that mobile phone and the car charger in case you do encounter roadside trouble. You can call AAA for roadside assistance. But it's important to think about safety this year. So, when you're stopping at those rest areas or stopping at the restaurants, you want to make sure that you have packed disinfectant wipes, have disposable gloves are always a really good idea. If you don't have disposable gloves, something as simple as like a sandwich bag, you could put your hand in there at the gas pump and use that as a barrier between your hand to keep it from touching surfaces. Remember to do that also at, restrooms for faucets and door handles. Some other things, of course, you want to have those face masks for everybody in the family.
Well, we know that a lot of people are itching to hit the road this summer. We hope it's not a Griswold summer for anybody.
Right.
Thank you so much for spending time with us, Doug.
Thank you, Joe.
And stay right there. We'll be right back. We feel safe.
We are talking skincare again today because we have our friend Uli Haslacher from Pour Moi Skincare with us. And Uli, I understand for the first time you're going to be offering a product along with our Climate Smart Desert product that actually works if we're going to take a little road trip to the beach or Los Angeles, any of the environs around us, even San Diego. That is a great solution. So welcome and tell us a little bit about that. But before you do that, please show everyone your hands again, because that to me is really sells the product. Talk to me about this great comparison.
Well, I wanted to show what
Pour did for me, a grammar, twice grammar in my face. So I demonstrated it on one of my hands. This is the hand I treated with Climate Smart Skincare every day. And this is the hand where I use a regular moisturizer. And Sandy, look at the difference. It's 30 years, some dermatologist tells me.
Wow, that is incredible. So 3 decades of aging has been removed as a result of these climate smart products, which is so great, pour moi. So talk to me about the fact that I know you've formulated them for different climates, and in the desert community, as we've discussed, we've had different needs and specific needs. But for those of us who are lucky enough to take a little road trip to the beach, Los Angeles, San Diego, that's a different product need, isn't it?
Exactly. So what you do is you match your day cream to the climate you are daily in. So in Palm Springs, you need always the desert day cream because it's hot and dry. But in LA, when you're on the beach, you get the humidity, you get the marine layers, and that's when you rotate over for the day where you are on the beach in California or San Diego or up north even to the temperate day cream. And by rotating them accordingly to the daily weather, you will get amazing, extraordinary anti-aging results, because most of the aging, Sandy, is external aging, the science of aging. That's why we call them the science of aging. It's not really biological aging. So it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what skin type you are, your visible part of your skin depends on the climate you are in.
Wow, that makes so much sense. And I know as difficult as it was, you were able to get a U.S. patent for your products, which is so impressive and amazing.
I know, I have it with me. I always brag a little bit about it because it's so rare. And what we had to show is that it's completely unique. So, you know, the stigma that everybody thinks skincare is all the same, just a different bottle and such a different brand. Not with Pour Moi. This is truly a new skin care, and it works differently. And we had to prove also that it works. So you only get a U.S. patent if it meets all these criteria.
So I know there are 4 products and 3 steps, which makes it so easy. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, here's what you get for Palm Springs. Step 1 is the hydrating balancer. Think of it as your first glass of water you drink in the morning. It wakes up your skin. It's your first layer of anti-aging ingredients. Step 2 is the serum. It makes your skin, your smart skin, even smarter, because skin is very smart. It makes it climate smart. So it start kicks repair and renewal in a desert climate, because that causes all of your external aging signs. And then step number 3, you lock it in with the climate specific day cream of the day. So when you're in Palm Springs, you use the desert day cream. And if you are going to LA on the beach and you have some humidity, you change over that day to the temperate day cream. They are all working in synergy, and they will give you this extraordinary results that I got and thousands of other people already got.
Well, I am so impressed, and I'm so grateful for you bringing this product to our desert, because, you know, I've had personally a few friends call you with questions, and you're so great about communicating, and we are all looking forward to hearing more about your products. So thank you so much, Julie. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Sandy. Bye-bye.
I do. Yep. Can we bring this to the top? There we go. Okay, yeah. Okay.